I would submit to you that George Harrison's solo career made me go back and appreciate all of his guitar solos in the Beatles even
Oh,
more, because
without a
once you
doubt.
appreciate him on his own as a solo songwriter and guitarist, you're like, wow, I would submit to you that if you're just listening to the music, that George's guitar solos are as imprinted on our souls as any of the lyrics John and Paul ever wrote. I know every note of every George guitar solo on every song. And,
Talk to
you
me
know,
about some of those that you think stand out. If you think every single one of them does, what
well, I
for the
mean,
casual listener would you recommend as
listen to
far
the
as the
early
solo?
George's early stuff sounds like Velvet Underground guitar solos to me. His early stuff is so fuzzy and messy. I mean, even Think for Yourself as well with the fuzz box. Like
Ooh,
he just got so dirty with it, and the only time you really have a memorable slide guitar song is by John Lennon in a George Harrison song on Let It
yeah.
Be, on and Elmore James has got nothing.
No, no,
But
this baby.
by the
Were
time we
you
got to the
blue?
late 80s, yeah, by the time we got to the late 80s, George was known for the slide guitar. And you listen to his guitar playing, and it's not, like I said earlier, it's nothing like what we're used to. His guitar was a completely different instrument. Like this is when fans would follow the person, not the brand. And these
Right.
solo albums became this incredible personal statement, right? Suddenly the solo records are more confessional and it's more experimental
Primal
and more
Scream
political.
Therapy.
Political, yeah, but that was John, right? Like that
Right.
Primal's.
I think he was the one who brought that out. I think, to your point, the idea of being personal and reflective in your lyrics it was around before the Beatles, but I think John, in the '70s, particularly with the album that you mentioned, Plastic Ono Band, was as raw as you could ever make
That's
lyrics.
it. Like think about Plastic Ono Band and All Things Must Pass and the first McCartney record in Ram. Those albums wouldn't exist without the Beatles teaching audiences to listen this way. And now we're solo, so we're going to experiment and hop genres and have political statements and be really confessional. And you could say they were the first band people really cared about as individuals, right? That was a big part of their marketing.
Yes.
So the breakup was all the more culturally traumatic because, it wasn't like the Stones broke up and people loved Bill Wyman that much, right? So the solo success was like, it's
You're
unprecedented in
picking
its
on poor
scale.
Bill.
I'm not picking on him. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, like
I know
people
you're
loved
right.
Ringo Starr in
Yeah,
ways they didn't love Charlie Watts.
right.
So they
And the way
turned a
they
solo.
in ways they didn't like John Lennon or Paul McCartney. That was the sum of the whole was greater than the parts with the
Look at
Beatles.
Fleetwood Mac. Look at Fleetwood Mac. I
Yeah.
mean, we see it play out over and over again. And now, of course, in the era of streaming music, when artists can't make any money, this is why Jack White has to be in 18 different bands because you got to make all your revenue touring. So a lot of people David Crosby used to say all the time on my show, we always thought we'd have a pension. And look at that supergroup. That was the supergroup of four guys. Again, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young is a totally different band. Deserves to be in the
Yeah.
Hall of Fame and still
Yes.
isn't. But
Yes, I
like that
agree.
was the model of solo records, band records, solo records, band records. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young showed us what the Beatles could have done with one good family therapist and some time away from each other. They could have come back to it every couple of years and fought and done more. I mean, maybe it would have ruined it. Maybe the Beatles making records in the 80s and playing at Live Aid would have sucked. I don't know, but it's fun to speculate about this stuff.